Hey, what's going on YouTube? Here I'm just doing a quick video. So as you might know, if you're familiar with the channel, we recently got a 2025 TRT Off-Road Premium 4Runner. It's bone stock and we're doing a whole build series on it. I'd say this is kind of a part of the build series or whatnot, but I made it a truck EDC, so we throw that Pelican bin in when we go off-roading with it. It has all the recovery gear we need and all the stuff we need, battery jumpers, stuff like that. There's also kind of a little bit of survival aspect to it too. When you're out there, you kind of want basic survival needs when you have, nothing, when you're in a stock vehicle, especially. So anyway, let's pull some stuff out of there. I will show you all the EDC stuff. Most of the stuff I had lying around. And when I was building this, I also had some companies reach out to me wanting to sponsor the video or whatnot, send their product and put it in a video. I would never shove, just cheap stuff that I would never use down your throats. So I only accept stuff that I would actually use or include in a kit. So you'll see some of that. I'll give you my honest opinion on it. I'm not paid to say anything. They just send it. So here we go. Let's get into it. So the case I'm using is a Pelican Adventure Case TX80. I actually won this in a giveaway at Overland Expo, and also won it with a cooler that's somewhere on one of these shelves. Anyway, it's a perfect case for something like this to throw in your truck with your recovery gear if you don't have cases already on it, since it is a stock 4Runner. So coming up to here, it has pretty nice handles that locks it down. You just dink. It also can be lockable, I guess, if you want to throw it in the bed of your truck, but I really like this case. So we'll go ahead and open it up and we'll get started. All right, so I kind of have this separate bag right here. It's just a tool bag. Let's go ahead and pull this out. Oh, a little stuck in there. Let's pull it out. Oh, this stuff's not light. All right, set that there. I'll go ahead and set this on the ground. We'll go through that bag. All right, in this smaller tool bag, the first thing we got is a tree saver. This is just nice, in case someone can winch you out or whatnot, just to put around a tree. All right, the next item we have is a bubba rope. Let's see the exact one it is. It's the 3.5 by 20. 19,000 pounds braking strength. Now, with a kinetic rope, this isn't a tow rope. It's a recovery rope. I see a lot of people pull vehicles a long distance with this. It's not what it's meant for. It's meant to pull someone out and then they're out. And you switch to a different rope if they're broken down or whatnot. So keep that in mind. But I love the bubba rope. I have actually used this a whole bunch in the snow. I have a new one in my truck. This is my older one, but I threw it in. Can't go wrong with the bubba rope. Here we have a nice fresh package of D-rings. There's just 2 D-rings in there. I leave them in the box so they're not, jumbling around or whatnot. Always keep D-rings on you. You can kind of recover any vehicle with D-rings. All right, I got a pair of mechanics gloves in here. That's nice in case you break down, you need to work on something. I got the Smittybilt snatch block. I think everyone kind of knows what these are. Never really tested the Smittybilt ones, but I've heard, not bad things. So we keep that in there. I had an extra one. I used the Factor 55 one in my truck, but I threw this in. And you come over here. I got, zip ties in case, you have a fender falling off or whatever. You can always zip tie something. And then clear duct tape, or I should say Gorilla Tape. Gorilla Tape's way better than duct tape. Just buy this stuff. This is, you can always find a use for something like this, especially in a, emergency or recovery situation. Then here we have Fix-A-Flat. I've heard mixed things on this, but I had room for it, so I threw it in there. And that could get you from point A to point B if you have a flat tire like a nail or something. So it might be worth it to have. And then you could come over here. I got, tire plug kit. It's pretty dirty, but, everyone kind of knows what this is. And then in here, it's like one of those fold-out saws. Here, let me open it. It's just one of these folding tree saws with the blade that goes in, it straightens out, and then you can just hook the blade right here in case there's a branch sticking out on the trail we don't want to hit. All right, here we have a Rhino USA collapsible shovel. Since there's not a big shovel on the 4Runner yet, it's better to have a collapsible one than none. That's how I like to live. And the last thing in this bag is one of those, hitch things for a recovery. You can put a D-ring or a soft shackle in there. And yeah, everyone kind of probably wants one of these because honestly, I've recovered a lot of people in the snow and a lot of people don't have recovery points. So having one of these is nice. All right, now that we're done with this bag, I'll just start pulling stuff from the bottom of this. Is kind of the looser stuff. I'm not going to pull that out. That's just a Husky ratchet set and, screwdrivers and stuff. It's good to have one of those, recovery. Let's start pulling this stuff out. All right, the first item I pulled out is this Oxalim. Oxylim. I'm not too sure how to spell that. It's just a battery jump starter. This is one of the items that this company sent me to include in a video. It's pretty basic. It's a battery jump starter. You know, has the stuff for the red and black. Honestly, I really like this on how, because like, look at this screen. It's like a I don't even know how to describe it. It's pretty unique. I haven't seen that. It's like the same material and it kind of glows through. But, you know, it's like a power bank and it has a light and you're able to jump your battery. I recommend keeping one of these in your car at all times, no matter what you drive. You never know on a cold day or a really hot day and you're just going to break down or whatnot. So I highly recommend this. And it also doubles as a portable battery. So you break down and you need to charge your phone on the walk to the gas station or whatever, you can just take this with you and charge your phone. Yeah, pretty useful. All right, so in this bag, it's also from the same company, Oxylim. It's actually really unique. So we don't have an air compressor on the 4Runner quite yet. We're not really in the stage of airing down and off-roading. It's stock, so we don't really care. This is like an emergency, or I guess you could use it full-time if you really want to, just take a little bit. But this is like an emergency portable power bank slash air compressor. If I can get this out, hold up, let me pull it out. Look at that. All right, so this is pretty cool. You can see the size of my hand, but it's a full-on air compressor slash power bank. You know, there's the on button right here. So let's go ahead and turn her on. Hold it a little bit. Oh, I didn't click it. One sec. All right, now that it's on, you can see it has an LED screen. You can set it at a PSI you want. And it comes with, you know, all the stuff like this to fill it up. You know, the different air ducts or, you know, tubes, or well, I don't even know what you exactly call these. I guess that's kind of dumb. I don't know. But anyway, air chuck, that's what I call it. Then it comes with a really long cigarette plug. So you can leave this plugged in while your car's on and plug it in and then start airing up your vehicle so you're not going to run out of battery. I have seen a lot of these portable air compressors not do this, and that's really smart that they did that so you can keep it. I won't be testing this today because I have really big tires and it's not fair for a little bit of, you know, compressor. But I guess, you know, if you guys want a spare emergency compressor, if you're not really trusting yours, I'd pick this up. I'd highly recommend it. All right, next up on the list, we have the ARB air damper tool. Let me open it. This is actually the one I used before I got the Apex valve stems. You know, I think everyone's kind of seen these. You screw it onto the valve stem and pull it out. So yeah, we use this. We're not really planning on airing down, but if we get in a sticky situation where we want to, we'll have it. This thing's light, doesn't weigh a lot, so we keep it in there. All right, next we just have one of these handheld saws by Eversaw 8.0. Heck yeah. You know, just a typical handsaw that most people have in their EDC kit. All right, so the next item I have is actually pretty interesting. I haven't really seen too many people include something like this in their, you know, truck EDC for recovery and stuff like this. It's actually a little portable vacuum. It's also from this, you know, the same brand, Oxylim. They sent this, but we'll actually use this because it's going in my girlfriend's car and she likes a clean car. So she's going to be using this a lot. It's actually pretty interesting. It can be, I guess, considered a power bank with USB-C right there. It can blow up your air mattress and it can also vacuum. So that's pretty nice. They sent all the air chucks here for, like, you know, air mattress. This is the different tip. It just goes in like right here like this for vacuum. They have another one. I bet you this will work pretty good for dog hair. As you know, I have a really big dog. So yeah. And it also has whatever the HIPAA, you know, verified filters. So, you know, you're not getting nasty air in your car when you're vacuuming. And, you know, it comes with a charging cord. Comes with a little brush to clean it. But this is pretty neat. I definitely feel like we're going to get some use out of this. You know, we're going to keep it charged and vacuum. She loves a clean car, so she'll definitely be using this. So there's actually two modes on this thing. You click and hold a little bit. You can see it's on low. You just click again, it's on high. You just go like this and it blows air right here and you just suck up the stuff. All right, guys, that kind of does it for what I keep in the 4Runner now. Now, granted, we just got it. It's only a couple years old. I just threw that kit together really quick. If you have any suggestions on what I should add to it, comment down below. And make sure you like, comment, subscribe. And follow my Instagram. I post a lot more random stuff of my truck and that 4Runner there if you want to learn more about it. So yeah, guys, that does it for the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. You guys have a good day.